Hey everybody, it's Bust with Battles with Bust number 681 today, doing battle with Vanessa. And so, this might be our last Vanessa video for a bit, right? I'm looking to switch over to Pygmalion until we get either the next balance patch or the next expansion release or whatever. It's still not super clear to me how the event passes and the expansion releases are going to work. I don't think it's monthly. I think it's less frequent than monthly, but at any rate, we've been playing with this Vanessa expansion quite a bit. Gonna look to switch over to that pig one. Dome some people with those burning regen stones in the early game. I can't wait to do it. But in this last Vanessa battle, let's see what turns up. We went with the strength in the previous video. I feel like we covered off on that reasonably well. And so it's going to be one of these burn items. And with burn, I do tend to prefer the width that you would get out of fiery, right? Something like Immolating Spark is okay if you only look to, say, build up to depth charge, but if you end up with one of the wider builds and you would prefer to have fiery, and I don't think there's a ton of difference with that +3 burn if we end up just on depth charge. So I think that'll be fine. Out here, not the greatest of starts. I guess we could just take the small weapon. No way to find burn stuff out there. Did find a burn friend here in the Zoracid though, right? Zoracid, Zorb the boy. Come out here and do some Zorbin. That was a thing, right? Like, back in the early 2000s, Zorbin? Isn't that the thing to where you got in like a big plastic ball and then you would run on it on the water or something? I don't remember. That was the classic days of the release of reality television onto the world by MTV. And it feels like they always had those drunk college kids running around in one of those plastic spheres on top of a pool. I think that's what it was called. Probably some sex thing now, but Bust out here talking about Zorbin. Doesn't know the weird sex stuff that refers to now. Do whatever you want. Do all the Zorbin that you please. What's the word I learned? I was driving the other day and I saw, is it Goobin? Is that what I can't remember. Oh man, I think that was it. I saw a vanity tag, a license plate that was like Goobin. I think that's the word. And I was like, I'm pretty sure that's a sex thing. But it's like when you can get your fun word past the censors, right? You can't get anything that you want. You can't have like weird sex stuff be your vanity tag. But if the boomers at the DMV aren't familiar with the hot new slang, right? You could probably go out there and get bussy on the tags if you want. But I was listening to Armchair Experts, the podcast at the gym today, and Ike Barholtz or Barenholtz, I can't remember his name exactly, was on, and he was talking about Goobin as well. So I think that's the word. But shit, we went off the rails. We're on hour 3. Day 1, hour 3, already fucking going off the rails. Welcome to Battles with Bust. All right, let's focus in. Let's focus up. We hit lighter at the first boss. Absolutely fantastic with fiery. Off to the races for a very powerful start. Going to go hit up the small item shop, see what we get here. Cannonball's great. Works nice with depth charge. Works with pop snappers. Bolus is fine. Not something that we'll probably use forever, but there are some slow synergies tying in with burn, and so we'll see if that works itself into something a little bit later. Now we do have the friend, right? We've got Zoracid to be our friend out here. Get that experience point. Certainly appreciate that. Let's see what we can do. Battling Vanessa on day 1. We can at least get the Zoracid in a little bit of a better spot, right? He can haste both of our items. Putting haste on the cannonball doesn't really do anything. All right. What's opponent got? Very powerful as well. They got left-handed, it looks. Coming at us with the piranhas. I don't think it'll be too much bad news bears for us. He only gets that one shot out of the grenade, and then the piranha's a fairly slow attacker. I think it's a 6-second cooldown, and so hopefully we get there with the burn. Did it. Go us. Well done, team. Give me all them LPs.
Another empty chest waiting to be
All right, so what do we got now? And so, interesting set. Like, the left-handed, always good. It's probably the strongest one here. But as we're out here on day 1, I do really like to consider taking Arms Dealer. This should be worth a few hundred hit points over the course of the game. And I think, given the opportunity to just start scaling at the end of day one, start of day two, sounds a little bit more interesting to me than just picking up left-handed, right? I think if we were on, day 8, it would be a very easy take of left-handed or the crit thing. You don't have as much time to scale Arms Dealer, but with us being so early in the game, that feels like a pretty good pickup here. All right, now we can come in and battle with the weapons if we want. Maybe pick up a cannon, pick up a trebuchet, something nice. Cannon turns up, beautiful. Zor Acid ready to bring those upgrades. I appreciate it, my friend. You're doing the good work. Probably don't want to roll the running out of money. All right, doing the fire stuff, and so yeah, let's head up to the mountain pass. Just gonna take the experience point here. To me, you run into item way too many times on day 2 to escort the convoy. So we'll take the money, take the 1 experience point, take the good guaranteed gains, and then I think we can come out and fight the rogue scrapper, keep the experience points coming in. No real burn pickups there in the early days. There's not a ton of great burn bosses out here, and so I think we're going to find ourselves just going for experience points very frequently out here. You also run into the weird shit, like so many of the burn bosses are just like shit in terms of what they give you. There's like the guy that only has fire bombs. Like one of the skills is your burn items get like plus 2% crit. Just like a bunch of dog shit options out there as far as these things go. But we're still doing fine, doing strong. We'll take this furry monster again, take them experience points. Have such a hard time passing on the experience points. So that sounds good. Only 2 gold. Out of the money slot, so let's just take the bronze item here. Not as interested in bronze loot. I'd rather wait until we're up into silver. But with this, let's take the burn item. Maybe something good. That's what we're doing, right? We're just burning shit. And that is a kind of combo piece with the slows, right? If we get the... when you slow, it gains bonus damage. Not really interested in putting the bolus next to the... or putting the cannonball next to the mantis shrimp. It needs a lot of cooldown reduction if that's going to be our big damage dealer for the day. So we'll keep the tick up on bolus, much faster activation. All right, we should have the level advantage on this guy. Feels good. Looks like he was a weak ass little level 2, coming at him with the level 3. So as this battle starts out, I'll tell you something that really grinds my gears these days. So. The wife is out of town. That leaves me flying solo in terms of fixing dinners and stuff. And I usually just don't try hard when she's gone. Like I maintain either 4 or 5 of the dinners through the week and actually cook real food. But whenever she's gone, it tends to be chicken tendies out here for robust. And so I went to get me a nice dinner tonight, and I went to get some pizza rolls. Right, I felt like that was a good a good healthy option for the evening. And when I was in grad school, they had one of what is probably the greatest inventions of all time, and I think they called them flavor blasted Totino's pizza rolls. And you could get pizza rolls that had Dorito dust on it. It was like fucking amazing. Like I basically ate that like twice a week all throughout grad school, and I graduated, right. I mastered science, and so tops off the Totinos for really fueling me through that. But now when you go, it's just back to the basic ass shit. It's like you can get Magic the Gathering flavored Hot Pockets, you can get League of Legends branded like frozen items, but the game and the pizza rolls is just dog shit now. It's like cheese and pepperoni and sausage and combo, and then the one option was like flaming ass mountain. Like it was just like, let's eat some ghost pepper, and it's like, that sounds like a fucking mistake. I'm too old for that. Like I'm not gonna just down Pepto-Bismol with my dinner and hope I don't flame out my asshole the next day. And so I was bummed, man. It's a very niche topic, I'm sure, but it was so disappointing this morning that they didn't have any decent flavors, and so I got combination. I hope that wasn't a fucking mistake, but just kind of is what it is sometimes. But let's focus back up. We already got the sex stuff out of the way. We got the pizza rolls out of the way. We can probably make it the rest of the video just fine. And so let's see how this goes. So on this screen, I talked trash on Magma Core earlier. It's fine for the moment. We'll probably use that for just a second. Crit thing is fine. Plus 4 damage from the old sword's probably okay. Let's take a roll. We're really looking for haste boots, and we're looking for slow enhancers, right? I really still like Chimera in every single build. Chimera actually does combo with some of this stuff like mantis shrimp as well, and getting that extra slow cooldown on the what's it called, the Chimera is quite good. It didn't turn up here, but there's some decent stuff along the way. Pick up these regens. I think that's fine. We'll get this extra bonus damage. Not going to roll the dice with knee brace today. I scared myself too much with the knee brace yesterday, so we'll we'll let that one pass for the moment. And I think we need to get up to 4 gold. Is that what it was for the boots? I was getting a little aggressive on our purchases here, and I might come to regret that later. We'll just do the cooldown reduction. We'll save the crit for what we think might be our final weapon for the build. And all right, so now Plum out of money. Pick up that regen. It's the only free thing. And then we could look to fight the Dabbling Apprentice. He does have that that burn potion within. And with the way the build's coming together, I wouldn't hate being like a port build. And so I think I'm going to go for the Dabbling Apprentice. We're still up a little bit of experience at this point since we hit 2 of the furry monsters early. And so we're not too far off track in terms of keeping our level ups going. So that looks good. Don't think I'm quite wanting to rocket boots the Zoracid, especially if we're going to land on the if we're going to land on a port, then having having that that gives us the option to then put in dive weights, right? Not use Zoracid, use dive weights, and then put the haste onto dive weights. Took me a second to get there. What do we got? We landed on the good one, right? The bottled lightning deals the damage and then also has a big burn attached to it. So that's okay. Who do we want to upgrade here? I'm leaning towards just Cannonball, but I know it's not the most powerful option. There's always the idea of doing bottled lightning, given that we can't naturally find it and can't get upgrades on it. Cannon is probably the highest impact one we can get right now, get that biggest damage boost we can attach to it. And then I'm not really sold on the scaling of Mantis Shrimp, and so I'm leaning towards either the bottled lightning or the cannon. And the bottled light, oh, it's already silver, isn't it? I guess that just takes us to the cannon. Very tempting with Cannonball as well, but I don't hate the idea of picking up port. Alright, what's up next? Still lacking in the dollars. I'll go to Finn's Big Bite, pick up the regen. I'd rather have regen early than that flat 80 health. And then let's see what we get up next. Go to the abandoned crate for an upgrade hammer. And just do the cannonball at this point. Then would we rather put this haste thing in? I don't think so. Leaning towards doing something like this. Keep the highest impact stuff on the cannonball. Move the bolas out to the edge, and then I think we're good to go. Do we like our hastes out here? The haste on the Zoracid onto cannon and lighter. I dig it. I can live with that. Let's boom him.
We're out to dethrone a king, not to squabble with nobody.
Okay. 3 items. What's this guy doing? Interesting. Must have sold out to pick up this flagship. He's going to be off to the races in a couple of days here. He's just a little bit behind at the moment. He's got a couple of weapon upgrades, the single item thing in cloak. He's got rigged up top, but not a good day for the opponent there. You just know you're taking the L when you send that one off to the PvP round. All right, so what's up now? Still fairly lacking in the money. Let's just hit up the docks. I'm going to take tools here. I think there's some decent burn stuff you could hit. Hamlet, probably not going to get a lot of great usage out of with the but the slow potential is there. More tied into burn than we are into red damage at this point. But with this, do we want to go to the silver items? Maybe find an upgrade, maybe find a port. I think that's okay. I usually don't like going to these if we're not going to roll, because it's just so expensive. But we do have some decent stuff to sell, right? We got like 6 gold of things to sell, and so if we find an upgrade, I wouldn't hate it. I don't think we'll be a rowboat build today. This is not feeling great. Can get some usage out of the illusory rays, right? If you're really looking to go ham on the mantis shrimp, you can get the illusory ray between the Zor acid and the mantis shrimp, and then you're covered on the two friends for all the multicast. And then with Chimera, you tend to have enough to get the mantis shrimp scaling, but it's I'm not a huge fan of really just digging into the slows. Probably not horrible right at the moment though.
Fable gave that to me on our first date.
Let's see what happens to old mantis shrimp. But okay, we can rearrange a little bit to help make that work. And so let's see, where are we at? We want mantis shrimp on the end. We want the Zor acid. Then we want. We might need to. Hang on, no, it needs to be like this, right? So we got the 3 stack on the illusory ray. And then if we want, we could look to move the cannonball down. But I don't think, at least at this stage of the game, the battles aren't lasting long enough to want to stack on mantis shrimp. We might circle back later and look to do something like that. Now with this, let's put the Zor acid onto the cannon. Then have the bottled lightning next to cannonball. And then we got kind of our duds out here at the left. So I think that's okay. I think we're looking decent. We should definitely be strong enough here to beat Prince Marineris. And so the Boiler Room Brawler, I would love to have access to the haste potion, especially if we're going to try and land on port. But it's just so hard to find it. We'll just come in and take the experience points here. I guess this guy has some slow stuff as well. Not really looking to get too stacked in on this idea of playing towards slows, but he has a little bit of stuff, right? When you slow, your weapons gain damage. It's a thing. Alright, so what do we got here? The vehicle thing. If you have a vehicle, reduce your non-vehicle things by 10%. I don't hate it. We passed on Rowboat earlier, but I don't think we're going to use any of the other vehicles, right? We're not going to use Submarine. Trebuchet is not a vehicle. There's not natural burn vehicles within the Vanessa kit that make me want this and then also tie into burn. So I'm kind of okay with passing on it. Balance Friendship's meh. 8% crit to everything is kind of fine. Seems better than rolling. I don't feel great about excuse me. I don't feel great about spending 66% of our gold there when we have the decent option in Kenai. Alright, moving forward, let's go to B1, B2. I guess if we're going to tool around with this Mantis Shrimp, we got to upgrade it at some point. So we get that bonus scaling attached to it. Gives 15 damage to burn on a slow now. Next page, small and large items. Not super... Well, I'm interested because port can land there, but we don't have a ton of money. I guess we could bring ourselves to find like 4, 6, 7, 8 or so gold if we wanted to. It's not really a port and a roll. We'll just take the non-weapon item. Icicle. Eh. Okay. It's dually time. Fighting old corn dog out here. Triple G corn dog bringing the thunder. What you got for me, friend? All the rays, all the cores. Got that rigged out there, giving the hastes early. It's scary. I think we're gonna scale up a little bit faster than him. Yep. Good job, team. These cannons and bottled lightnings do quite a bit of chunk damage early. They're not something you're usually excited about in the late game, but up through about day 6 or so, they do pretty hefty damage on that front end. Alright, so what now? We can go to the gold store, I guess. See if we high roll something special. Oh man, I saw the large item and thought it was going to be the port. It didn't pan out. Now I don't hate Dam, or at least I didn't hate Dam in the previous patch. I don't think I hate it in this patch. We're not really well tuned to deal with this though. Like I'm trying to envision how we would want the Dam to look with large items and burn, and it basically involves using stuff like Trebuchet, but Trebuchet doesn't combo with the Dam, so I'm not really interested there. Tripwire is one that I guess we have to immediately stop and evaluate, right? When your enemy uses an item, slow it. Gives us full combos in terms of the Mantis Shrimp. Just whenever opponent activates, give the Mantis Shrimp a bonus. If we're wanting to build to the Shrimp, then this is it, right? This is the signal to do so. And then we can kind of as the day progresses, abandon things like Illusory Ray, abandon things like Bolus, and then maybe just try and get Chimera Tripwire in as our slows. I think that sounds reasonable. Come up with something reasonable. Fucking Raynad cancels our game. That's bullshit. It's bullshit, Raynad. You heard it here first. Take a sip of Monster and do some Zorbin while we wait. Oh man, come on. Did we lose the servers completely? All right, there we go. So we're back at it. Let's see. We want to get this tripwire. What are we going to sell? Sell these stupid things we don't need. Medkit might as well just be 4 gold. We're never going to get any heal at this point. Pick up the tripwire. Let's do it. Shit's happening. Things are getting real. Let's get that tripwire in. Keep our burn stuff on board as much as we can. And then, yeah, I think we'll want to cannonball the Mantis Shrimp at some point, but not at this exact moment. And I'm kind of curious if we're going to really build to Mantis Shrimp, if we wouldn't prefer to try and have our end game build look something like Mantis Shrimp and Car Ramrod to put the extra crit onto the Mantis Shrimp, right? We really want this thing to do a lot of work when it actually hits. And then, man, I wonder if we should just try and put it under Silencer. We'll have to see how we can get that upgraded. Just getting it. It's like, it's awkward with these scaling items in that the first shot, you know, do you want the first shot to be like a one shot, or do you want the first one to happen kind of quickly so that the second one gets to be the good one? You know, that's the way that's the way every sexual encounter in my life, right? Let's get the quick one out of the way so we can have a good one. I'm curious if that's how you want the Mantis Shrimp to go as well. We'll see how it plays out. All right. Story of my life. Get the quick one out of the way so you can have the good one later. Alright, what are we going to do? Take the small weapon. We're pretty lacking in money. I would have liked the skill upgrades there, but I think this is fine. What are we going to do next? We can go to the Kyver Commander and try and pick up the good skill. Right? He has counterattack when your opponent uses an item, charge a weapon. And he has decent cooldown stuff, which I'm a little interested in cooldown stuff for our Mantis Shrimp here. And so maybe we'll go. Passing up on a second experience point from the Gorgon Noble, but I'm a lot less interested in the Gorgon Noble since the freeze doesn't appear as much as it used to, right? You used to be able to go to Gorgon... No, Gorgon Noble's the wrong one, but at any rate, there's that encounter that had the... the thing that to where it halves the time of your freeze or cut a second off of your freeze. Not nearly as important as it used to be. Yeah, bummer. We missed the cooldown. We missed both of the we missed both of the cooldown things and missed the skill. Is what it is. Let's start taking loot items. Don't want any silver tier weapons. Did we mess that up? No, we got a med kit. Okay. So what's up next? We got decent money, or we could go to Finn's Big Bite. I do like going to the Big Bite. It takes our build a bit of time to really ramp up and start doing stuff with the Mantis Shrimp. I think that's okay at this point. Like, there's not a ton of upgrades we're going to be getting at this stage, so we can just kind of save up our money a little bit. Up next, don't need poison. Pass on those chocolate bars, see if something small turns up. Don't think we're a holsters build. We do have pretty much all small items on board, so maybe that could be a thing. If we end up, say, taking out cannon and have the rest of the build be small. I do want to get Chimera in, but I could also see dock lines being a part of it. I could see taking both of the weapons out, the Zor Acid and the Bottled Lightning, and then putting in, like, a silencer for the Mantis Shrimp. Let's stick with where we're at for the moment. We'll pass on holsters. We'll regret it later, but it's fine right now. Our boy Mantis Shrimp turning up, though. Gotta appreciate that. Just notice this. Look at this. 69. Nice. You heard it here first. We're really out here nailing that one. Nailed it good. Alright, I'm going to put that crit on the Mantis Shrimp and head off to battle Jason Momoa out here. Wonder how he's doing.
Underestimate me. It makes this more
He was
fun.
gonna play the Bazaar until found out it wasn't free to play. He's only got all that. Did that Minecraft movie ever come out? And say he's only got all that Aquaman money and all that Fast Five money. It's so funny. I really enjoy Tom Segura's work, the comedian. He does the Two Bears One Cave podcast. He does another podcast with his wife. All of it's very good stuff. But he was talking about, like asking his kid what would be, what would really make his life. What could he do that would be like the greatest thing ever for the kid? He's like, I've got all this money now. I could just kind of do whatever I want. I could do whatever it would be to fulfill my child's desires. And the kid was like, I love Minecraft so much. And he was like, oh, cool. Well, what if you could go to the Minecraft set and go see all the Minecraft movie and everything? And he's like, yeah, that'd be great. That'd be awesome. And so, like, he takes his kid to New Zealand. He knows Jason Momoa, and so Jason Momoa got him on set, taking him around and like hanging out with Jason and Jack Black and them. And then he said the kid met Jason Momoa's dog. He had his dog on set, and then that was all he cared about. He didn't care about the set or anything else. He asked him on the way home, right? He took his kid flown from like Los Angeles or Austin to New Zealand, spent all that time down there, flew back, asked him what his favorite part about the trip was, and he said Jason Momoa's dog. It's like, fucking A. Fucking A. Why do I even bother? Why do we even bother sometimes? All right, though, let's jump back in. What are we going to do? We can hit up Curio. Love hitting Curio. See if we can't find any of the slow things. The bludgeon turns up with this. Definitely going to take it. Found a touch of cooldown reduction. I guess we'll use all of it if we can. What are we going to do here? Let's just cool down on the Mantis. Not going to use bolas. Not going to use magma cores. Just make our lives a little bit easier. Going to circle back to the bludgeon. Not sure if we want to use it just yet. Cooldown reduction. Great. I don't think we're going to Proboscis today. I mean, maybe we have to just take it. We have all the tools to make this thing be successful, right? We've got the slow and steady to scale it up. We've got the tripwire. I don't want to be on that route, but maybe that's where we find ourselves landing here. But to kind of circle back to this, is like, do we want to put the slow on the tripwire or try and save it for Chimera? Maybe we'll just go ahead and burn it on the tripwire. Chimera is nowhere to be seen at the moment. Cooldown reduction, sure. We got to stop and think about Old Sword. If we want to really get Proboscis on board, then we probably should put the Old Sword onto it. Same thing with the spiked buckler. I mean, I could see us starting to be in the spot to where our build looks like this. Start to get the cannon out, get the Proboscis in, and then we've got the space for one more item on board if we want. Or we could just bring the cannon back in. Okay, let's see. Let's take a roll, see if we get any other slows. Oh, we doubled up on the slows. The makeshift barricade comes in. I mean, I think we just go ham with this, right? We got to sell the med kit. Just get that 3-second slow running on the tripwire. I mean, that's pretty decent, right? The thing that we're kind of lacking now is just sustain. Right? If we're going to slow the entirety of the opponent's board, we just need the time for our stuff to kind of kick off. So maybe that'll work out. Out of money now, the slow shop turns up. Sold a bolus, got a bolus. Sure thing. Next set, nothing too exciting in these bosses. You could maybe get a good item out of the trash golem, but we'll just go to the Lone Shark, pick up the experience points here. Try and, at this point, just race to level 10, I think. I kind of like where our board's at the moment. Out here dropping the Proboscis on him. Okay, we're getting somewhere. So, upgrade a silver or lower. I'm going to stack that in on the Zor Acid. Kind of the same deal with the Proboscis, to where, you know, we could consider upgrading it because it's going to be hard to upgrade later. But I'm not sold on this thing sticking around for very long, and so I'm not really worried about that one. I don't think we need the Cannonball upgrade. And then if we're going to have like Proboscis and Mantis Shrimp on board, we're never going to be in the spot to where we silence her. So maybe we are a little interested in upgrading something like Bottled Lightning. We can fix our board a little bit as well. The Zor Acid's out here just not doing anything. Fixed it. So are we happy with this build? Like, is this really what we want our life to be? Right? We'd say take Bolus out, put Chimera in, and call it a day. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. And then, so I think if that's going to be the case, maybe we do just upgrade the Bottled Lightning.
Now this will inspire the crew.
Alright, so that seems fine. A little lacking in the money. Could just take the item, but I think we'll take chocolate bars. I want to make sure we're good to go with this health. We think our build is to the point where it just needs a bit of time to get up and running. So that should be okay. Temporary boost on attack power. I almost always take this thing. Very strong here. Up against a Vanessa. So let's sell this shit off. Do we want to put the rocket boots on Zor Acid? I don't think we're going to be going for dive weights anytime soon. I think I'm happy enough with how this is going. So we'll get that 3-second haste coming off of it. Let's do it. Let's battle. Opponent's got one win. Can't wait to see how we get annihilated here. I can't wait to see it. Can't wait. Doing some burn stuff. Okay. Trying to get that weather glass up and running. Just fucking domed him with something. I didn't catch what it was, but it took out like half his health. Nice. Where'd our damage come from? Wow, that's so much damage out of the Proboscis. I guess I have to give this thing some credit. Maybe we should have just upgraded it. I did not expect to see that 590 damage coming out of this thing. I mean, I guess it's like a poor man's Caltrops, and we need to give it a little bit more credit. Okay. Okay. So what's up next? Ooh, the cafe. I dig it. Give me them stats, please. What's up next? Deadly Monster. Don't mind if I do. What's up, Chili Charles? It is kind of interesting battling something like Chili Charles, and I think... Does the Proboscis still shoot even if it's frozen? That would make this round kind of interesting if our opponent just, say, like, perma-freezes your board, but you get to keep doing damage because of the tripwire Proboscis combo. Alright, so what do we got now? Could look to burn skills. I take the gold tier skill like 90% of the time, but some of the burn skills could be a little interesting. But I kind of feel like we're now like a Proboscis build that occasionally does burn stuff, more so than a burn build that has Proboscis in it. And so let's take the gold tier skill. Wouldn't be upset to pick up like weapon enhancer in some sort. It's the tool thing. The first 5 times use a tool, do a slow. We have one tool in the lighter. Not exactly excited about that. Weapon bash or shield bash is always quite strong when the enemy uses a non-weapon, charge a weapon. Don't think we'll be doing freeze stuff. But shield bash tends to work better if you're with, say, a sniper rifle, right? So you get that happening super quick. Just getting charges put on Zor Acid or charges putting on Bolus doesn't sound spectacular. It's not bad. It's never bad getting charges, but let's see if we can't find something to build around with a little bit. Does Proboscis crit? It does not. The crit still applies to our other weapons, but not the Proboscis. Alright, well, I never hate crit, and so get that Manta Shrimp up and running a little bit more. What's up next? A lot of burn stuff here. I think we just end up with the Shock Trooper. Nothing I ever want out of Sergeant Suds. Ghost Pepper. It's certainly a winnable round at this point, but I think he's a lot more all-in with his damages. Here I do like the crit thing. When you burn, get crit. Incendiary Rounds is the one that I was a little bit more interested in. But we'll see what turns up. Okay, so what's up? Not, excuse me, not interested in the docks when we can't get experience points. We can do medium items. Maybe something turns up. I just don't feel like there's a lot of mediums that we're really looking for at this point. We're not a powder keg build, right? The powder keg can be a way that a lot of these burn builds go. Very easy to get this to deal 100% damage if you put deadly on it to get the crit up, or if you get obsidian, but I think I'm pretty happy with how things are going with our slow build here, and so let's just move away from that idea. Up next, don't care about those things, so let's take a loot item. It's probably going to be heal again. Fucking called our shot, huh? our third med kit of the game. At least we're still rolling without losing too much there, so that's fine. Medium and large items. Don't have a bunch of smalls to sell. Let's just take the free one and get out of here. Dive weights turns up, actually interesting. I don't think we end up using it. We'll definitely hang on to it for a while, but I don't think we're ever getting out of this space of the kind of cannonballing build. But it's like the bottled lightning does fall off as far as the late game is concerned.
We're out to dethrone a king, not to squabble with nobody.
It's done pretty good work to get us up to hopefully 7 wins here, but it'll fall off in a bit. Alright, gotta survive this grenade. It should just be like perma-slowed, and so that's at least a nice bonus. Big crit coming in from the mantis shrimp. I appreciate that, my friend. Doing the good work. Okay. Out here dropping the Proboscis. So good stuff. Cafe turns up. Give me them damages. Always happy about that. Next day. Probably want to go to Tox Clocks. Haste is good. Slow's good. Cooldown's good. All sounds good to me. Upgrade to Bolus is fine. I don't think we'll keep it forever, but it's very cheap to get that power boost right now. Does look like we're going to be probably sticking small item the rest of the way, but I have a hard time believing that we want holsters. We're not like an engine comp, right? We're not like heavily stacked in on the mantis shrimp. I'm kind of curious if we shouldn't actually just be going like full defense and trying to count on the tripwire, but I don't think we want the holsters. What do we got here? Some of the stuff. Oh, look at that. I was gonna say I thought there was an enchant on the dive weights, the heavy dive weights. Slow gets the slow on the multicast. Now I guess like I'm getting really amped about this dive weights because I play way too much depth charge, right? I get the poison skill on day one, I get the burn skill on day one, and just say like, cool, I guess we're going depth charge. But we don't have a ton of aquatic items, right? Oh no, it doesn't need it. I'm thinking it gets its multicast off of the ammo. Okay, yeah, we got to take this thing. It's gonna do some work. Get that illusory ray as well. Like I'm pretty certain that we just take the bottled lightning out and keep the tripwire in at this point. Or maybe we just take Bolus out. Bolus gives us that sweet slow, though. Do we have any aquatics that we can get over here? Like it does really suck that this is on an 8-second cooldown. I mean, I moved it away to put it next to the Zor acid, and it's like, that's not great. I mean, I guess realistically, we can be looking to get rid of the illusory ray. It's not doing a ton at this point. Maybe that's just the angle we take. I know we just bought that as an upgrade, but we can get the aquatic over here next to the dive weights. We can get the haste from the Zor acid onto something else. I mean, we can just move the lighter back over if we want. And then the bottled lightning can still be a part of our team. Okay. And then just going full heavy at this point. See how this goes. So we'll fight the Burninator bot. I think it's got burn stuff, or is he a large item guy? I don't quite remember. Oh, he's got the flamethrower. He has a burn bro. Look at this. Slow burn would be so sick, right? The first 5 times you slow, charge a burn item. See if that bad boy pops up. to be off to the fucking races. Nope. Do we ever use pylon? When you slow haste an item? So that's tough to decide on. I mean, the dive weights is going to be doing quite a bit of work in terms of hasting. I don't think we need it, but it gets decent. Like, hang on. Like as we're on the level 10, does it do stuff? Right. So when you slow poison 3, so we'd say that whenever the opponent uses an item, then they're going to get 3 poison. Same thing applies to tripwire, though, I believe. Type in some more characters. And so when your enemy uses it, it does less poison, but it takes up 1 less hex. And so it does 1 poison per hex. So we could look at that. But yeah, when you... I don't think the pylons... I think it takes up too much space, and it doesn't do anything with the tripwire. I don't think this is the place to be. It would be decent if we were on maybe like Trebuchet. I don't know how we would make all of that work to where we have pylon comboing tripwire, and that generates hastes for Trebuchet, and then we have like 2 other hexes left. Like that could maybe be something, but I think we're too far away from that. And so the question is going to be is, do we want to take poison? It's off theme, but it's one of the better abilities out here, or do we want to just roll the dice with the artist? And I think poison is probably just good enough. I'm going to put poison onto the tripwire so we get that activation whenever the opponent uses an item. How sick would that have been to find fiery, though? If we just had fiery dropping burns out here, that would be pretty nice. But I don't think we can complain about the poison. Up next, though, none of these do anything. Friendship, no. Don't have large items. Don't have shields. Let's take a roll. Weights doesn't do anything. Large items doesn't. The first 10 times you use an aquatic item, haste a weapon. We do have some weapons. We picked up some aquatics. Like, it is kind of nice that when the dive weights pops, the crashing waves pops, but I think we're just too far away from that being relevant. Let's sell the pylons. We'll pick up the weights. It'll maybe put 10 damage on our items over the course of the game since we're so deep in, but yeah, it just kind of is what it is. Now, I don't think there's any mediums that we want. We'll just take the small aquatic. Ooh, Chimera turned up. Chimera. Do we want to start with it at this point? I had to check if Proboscis was a friend. This is just like a fly's ass, or I guess a fly's face, right? It's not the actual fly itself. We want to get the Chimera in. I think the bottle lightning is kind of past its mark here, right? The red damage when you're on day 4 and it's dealing 25% of your opponent's health, it's pretty good. Now that we have 3k health, it's not that much, and the single activation is a bit worrisome. So we can skip past that. Yeah, let's add Chimera in. I'm ready to move on from Bolus as well, but I think this is fine for the moment. Alright. Looks like a level 10 Vanessa, so they're going to have her enchant as well. What do we got here? Is he got 1 poison item? 2 poison items, okay. We're gonna keep him pretty heavily slowed here. You gotta love that. Nice. I think the Proboscis was doing the work here. It's just so wild that whenever we activate the dive weights, it just does so much, right? It hastes an item that we have, slows an opposing item, gives us bonus attack with the slow and steady, and then activates the Proboscis as well. Look at that, doing 2k damage off the Proboscis here. Fucking nice. Okay. Doing work. So what do we got? I guess we could end up upgrading weapons, right? We actually have weapons on board here. Let's see what's up. Miss on day 1. Jitte does slow stuff, but it's never gonna make the build. Day 2. Give me them temporary boosts, easy peasy. Easiest push of the day. Next set, what do we got? Pharaoh's Con, little interesting being able to pick up left-handed, right-handed. I worry a little bit about this boss in terms of how fast that we're able to get a takedown on him. It's like 30% of the time we just lose when he crits. I can't remember exactly what his sniper rifle deals out the gates. I know it's right around 3,000 damage. I don't think it's 3,200. I just worry that we're not able to kill him before he takes the shot, right? If we just had the 70% chance to win, I think I'd be okay with it, but I should know this by now. I'm just going to fight the Revenant. I know we can beat it. Get a bigger experience boost out of it as well. The crit skill is actually kind of interesting, right? When you poison, your items get 2% crit, so whenever the opponent uses an item, we get 2% crit. That's pretty sweet. Easy takedown. It even deal damage to us? Jesus. Cloak. I'm not going to use that today. What's up next? Crit skills, haste and charge, or Vanessa. What's our crit at? 29%. It's like I'm so much less excited about crit since Proboscis and Tripwire don't get to use it. Kind of just want our build to use the dive weights as fast as it can. So let's take these haste and charges. Alacrity does it, right? When you crit charge, I guess that kind of works. Hasting poison doesn't do anything here. Okay. We'll take those charges, that's fine. Up next, we can see the items. Nothing on page 1. Vanessa Amulet I don't think we need, and then there's a cannon upgrade, but we're not going to cannon from this point forward. Alright, that looks good. We can go to the Bazaar Con, get those experience points. Oh shit, hit the wrong one. I guess we'll get the Power Sander. That's not what I wanted. I really wish that they would get this place in the same order every single time. I don't know if it's set up like that because they intend on putting more options within the shop, right? So right now, let's say there's only 3 options, and so it picks a random one, picks a random one, picks a random one. But if they add a 4th one in at some point, or a 5th one, then it makes a lot more sense. So what's going on here? He's getting a pretty big build up on his. He was getting a pretty big build up on his shield thing, but we started carrying through. That was a weird battle. Nothing really happened there. He does have the good slow skill. I would really. How sick would that be if we had thick hide when you slow charge an item? I didn't know what to watch on that board, but we certainly won the battle. Good stuff there. Ammo. I guess we have 3 ammo items on board. We can give it a shot. Nothing on page 1. Nothing on page 2. Bummer. Up next after that. Sells items. Looks like as good as it's going to get. Nothing we need on day 1. Passing on figurehead always hurts, but that's not what our build is really doing today. Do we ever put the... Oh, we don't get crit on the Proboscis. It's like, man, do we ever put the disguise in to put that sweet crit on the Proboscis? Nah, that's not a thing. That's not a thing today. What's up next? Can look to assault focus out of Boss Haro, but it's so hard to pick up that singular skill. I'm just going to go to the Frost Street Champion here. Keep trying to race up these... experience points in the event that we don't win today or tomorrow. At least try and hit that diamond skill as fast as we can and maybe high roll from there. Seems like stuff's happening this round. I'm not entirely certain how this works with the freezes coming in off of the iceberg, but he's not getting a lot of item activations. What you got? Ooh, Snowflake. You find a freeze, that's a big upgrade. So what's up now? Gold tier loot? Sure. I was considering the gold tier weapon because we have the 2, but I think that's fine. Temporary boost turns up. Don't mind if I do. Next day. Ooh. It's time for that Obsidian Proboscis, huh? I think it is. I think it is. Get the double damage start on this guy. Get ready to fucking rock it, my dude. There's gotta be a joke about just this very dark colored hog hanging off the front of this thing. It's there. It's there. Talk about Zorban and Gooban and the dark colored the dark colored proboscis out here. What do we got? Are we good to go? Are we ready to take down this dually? We're both at 9 wins, both at level 12. Don't think we want to cut any of this stuff in. All right, let's battle. We got our obsidian proboscis. There's no stopping it.
Go ahead. Underestimate me. It makes this more fun.
Looks like he's about to do a lot of activating. See how these slows hold themselves up. Gonna get that 9-second slow on his missile launcher after it activates the first time. Looks like things are starting to pop. Our dive weight's just making it work, making it happen. Easy peasy. 10 winner, perfect victory. Dark colored proboscis running through at the end of the day. GG, well played, my friend. And so good stuff. We steamrolled that one. I felt like we were just going to we were going to meme it and like fall off at 5 wins, but man, I did not give Proboscis enough credit for how strong that thing is. That was absolutely smashing, especially when tied in with the heavy dive weights. And so, good ass battle, good stuff, good fun, easy little 10 winner. Let's pull this up and see what we think about this at the end of the day. And so yeah, I mean, it was a reasonable battle. I really expected this round to be building up around the mantis shrimp. That just seemed to be the way things were playing out as to where the build, found the cannonball. We had a handful of just low quality burn items that came good because we had the fiery enchant. And things were going, decent across the board there. I think the big win here was, of course, the proboscis. I did not. I know that I've gotten like smashed by it before, but I didn't realize how good it was going to be when all the cards fell in the right place. Between having the where are you at? Heavy focus. What do you call it? Slow and steady. When you slow, your weapons gain the ability, and so just having that combo of the slow and steady and the proboscis and the tripwire, and then coming in with the heavy dive weights, it all just played itself out nicely. And so nice little set of combos that came from there. But otherwise, if you're in the less high rolly version of a build like this, I still think it's okay in the sense of, looking towards port, looking towards mantis shrimp, and then just picking up the slows wherever you can and trying to build up that way, right? We do have just a kind of a lot of garbagey style of stuff on the board between things like the lighter and the Zoracid, but the mantis shrimp was a nice kind of fallback to what we were hoping to achieve here, and it could have been a big build around if we ended up landing on port instead of landing the way that we did. But at the end of the day, good stuff. I had fun with that. Hope you did too, because that is going to do it for us today. So hope everyone enjoyed the video. Hope you maybe learned a thing or two along the way. You had a good time watching. This is Bust and Weed. Thank you for being here.